Good evening, guys. It's Working, bringing you a very quick update on Bitcoin. Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. We're looking at Bitcoin to the US dollar. This is the 4-hour chart on Coinbase. And last time we spoke, guys, Bitcoin had just broken down below this 3,400. It was coming back up. It tried to break above 3,400. And when we were speaking, guys, it looked like that was going to act as resistance. Turns out the bulls were able to push it up just above that 3,400. So that is a temporary sign of strength. That being said, guys, again, we're seeing no sign of follow through at all. If we come over here and I check volume, we're sitting at about 4.1 billion on the day, which, as you guys know, if you've watched my past videos, is extremely weak on volume. It is still respecting this overall descending resistance line that's been in place since. I mean, for the most part, we've broken just slightly above here, guys. And actually, it really depends on where I draw this. If I really draw it on from wick to wick, starting on that wick here back on November the 18th, and keep it right on that wick there, guys. Actually, I don't even need to. We still have not broken above at all that descending resistance line, guys. So we're really getting no indication of any bullish momentum at all, other than just this brief little spike. And really what we need to see, guys, we need to see price come back up and take out the prior high of this structure here. So we need to see basically it decisively break back into this zone between 3,800 and 3,600, in my opinion. Not by a wick, but a decisive break. In other words, a 4-hour candle opening and closing within this zone with consolidation, either sideways or obviously continuing up. If we do see that break above 3,600, again, I'll start to get a little more optimistic in the short term. But right now, guys, again, we're seeing absolutely no indication that this is going to continue up at all. In fact, if I zoom out here to the daily chart, you guys can see very clearly, guys, that this is just a continuation so far of the downtrend, more than likely. If I look at the zoom in here, guys, look at our MACD. Actually, I'm going to bring it back so you guys can compare this MACD with price. We can see if we look at price from point to point here, this is on the daily, by the way, we can see clearly we've created a lower low, obviously. We look at the MACD, what is the MACD showing? It's showing a higher high, actually. And so that's telling you that on a downtrend here, that is hidden bearish divergence, guys. So that's telling you that very likely this thing is going to end up bouncing off here and coming back down, at least back down into this 3,400 to 3,200 support, in my opinion. Now, again, it doesn't mean that has to happen. It just means, guys, more than likely, from everything that I'm seeing, it looks like we're going to come back down into this 3,400 to 3,250 support, and we'll have to wait and see if that either can hold, or if we come down a little bit lower than this prior low here and we get a nice little springboard bounce off of that. But again, guys, right now we're seeing no volume. We're seeing that hidden bearish divergence. We're looking at the chart here. This is on the daily chart. We can see that price is still unable to break above that 8-day EMA on the daily chart, guys. So again, no signs at all of any kind of bullish momentum. If we come over here and we look at longs versus shorts, shorts are moving sideways for the most part, relatively unchanged. Longs continue to stack. This is very interesting. Longs continue to stack for really seemingly no reason. We had this massive spike yesterday that we talked about, that 7% spike inside of 4 hours. And then, of course, we've seen that longs just continue to stack on top of that. As I told you guys, this may be a bull trap. And it's looking, without the volume at all, with the zero volume, the way things are looking, it looks like this may just be a bull trap, guys. It looks like this thing is just going to trap people into those long positions, and then market makers are going to take this thing back down and just liquidate those longs, in my opinion. Again, doesn't mean that has to happen. Just means right now we're seeing absolutely no sign of a reversal. So what I'd like to see, we need to see a decisive break above 3,600 for me to start to get short-term optimistic. A decisive break above 3,600, and what I'm continuing to watch to the downside, guys, is this 3,400 to 3,250 support. If 3,250 does break down, guys, I think decisively, in other words, a 4-hour candle opening and closing below 3,250, I think it'll be a very quick drop down to 3,000. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap Bitcoin there. Not much has changed, as we talked about. Just a very quick update looking at EOS. Let me bring up EOS here. EOS, again, guys, we had this yesterday. We spoke. EOS was right on top of this $1.85 zone. That $1.85 did end up, we didn't get a decisive break below there. It ended up acting as a fairly good support. Price bounced right back up. I told you guys what we needed to watch. Of course, we were watching this $1.85 to $1.72 zone, telling you that if $1.72 did break down decisively, in other words, if we had a 4-hour candle, both opening and closing below $1.72, I thought there would be a very quick drop down, a possible quick drop down to this $1.25 to $1.10 level. We pointed out yesterday there's just not a lot of support between $1.72 and $1.25. That being said, price did end up temporarily spiking up here, and it looks to me, I told you yesterday that we needed to break above 211 if the bulls were going to have any kind of momentum at all. Price came up, barely tapped, I don't even know if it really hit 211, almost 210, somewhere thereabouts, guys. Just unable to break above 211, 211 acting as a strong resistance again, and price breaking back down here. And again, we're seeing no signs that this is going to continue back up, guys. This is all looking, volume is remaining low on EOS as well. In fact, this looks like a very decent double top here where price may come back down very quickly and test this $1.85 to $1.72 zone once again. That being said, if we do break above 211, I'm going to start to get short-term optimistic, guys, and at that point, we're going to be watching to see if we can break above 211, and then we want to see the retest. In other words, we want to see a decisive break above 211, price come back down, retest what was resistance, should act as support. If it does act as support, guys, that would be a good entry point for EOS, just to try to buy that bounce. But again, guys, I would wait. Because right now we're seeing no indication of a reversal. Looks to me like this is just a little temporary rise on the way back down to continuing that bullish, that bearish trend that we've been watching for so long now. So again, just kind of watching and waiting EOS, looking to see if we get any signs at all of a reversal, and we're getting nothing right now. Right now, to me, it looks like we're going to come back down, at least test this support again at $1.85, very likely come back down into this zone between $1.85 and $1.72. And again, keep an eye on that $1.72. If that does break down, things could get ugly very quickly. All right, guys, that wraps up EOS. Very quickly, looking at Ethereum. I haven't done Ethereum in a while, guys. Ethereum has basically just been following Bitcoin, but I had these drawn out a long time ago. I think the last time I did it, it's been over a month since I've done Ethereum, I believe. And these are the support and resistance lines that I've had drawn out since my last update a month or so ago. And of course, I think last time I updated you guys, we were just below this area here between $1.96 and $1.78. And of course, actually, we may have been right up here. Regardless, I told you guys that though the last stand was this $1.59 to $1.55 zone. I told you if that broke down, guys, it would be a very quick drop to under $100. And of course, that's exactly what we saw. Price did end up breaking down, didn't even acknowledge this zone here, and then of course quickly fell back down to this zone between $1.93 and $1.77 that I had mapped out here, guys. And this is where we sit moving sideways. And as of right now, let me pull out here to the daily chart. You guys can see a little bit better. As of right now, guys, we're really seeing, again, just like with the other coins, we're seeing no signs of a reversal, no signs of a bottom at all. If 77 does break down, I think it'd be a very quick drop down to $52 to $42. In fact, if I zoom out here, you guys can see, looking past here, there's just not much support between 77 and 52, not much support at all. So again, zooming in here, if I bring up our let me bring up our MACD here so I can show you guys. Looking at the MACD, what do we have? If I draw point to point, we can see clearly we created a lower low. If I draw point to point here on this is on the daily chart on the MACD, we created a higher low and a downtrend, guys. That is hidden bearish divergence as well. So this does signal that we may very likely be coming back down to lower prices, guys. Again, doesn't mean that has to happen. It just means that hidden bearish divergence is there. We're seeing no real volume at all. No real signs of a reversal at all. We're just getting sideways movement here for the last week or so. And very likely, guys, I think that if 77 does, if 77 does break down, guys, we at least need to come lower to get a decent bounce to try to fill some buy orders. And I do think there's some buy orders sitting around between about $80 and $77 between this zone here. But if that breaks down, as I said, guys, this thing could quickly fall down to 52 to 42. And if you're looking to buy Ethereum, if you're looking for a good entry price, of course you can. If you're looking long, if you're going long, you can always dollar cost average in now. It's not a bad idea. But really, this 52 to 42 range, if it ever does get down here, guys, this is a very good area to buy Ethereum, in my opinion. Again, it may not ever get down here, but if it ever does, in my opinion, this is a very good area to start looking to enter into a long position. Now, to the upside, guys, what we need to take out, Ethereum needs to take out this high right here. So in other words, we've created a little bit of a supply zone right here. In other words, there's a lot of sell orders that are sitting up here. So Ethereum really needs to break above this zone. And this zone now sits at about a buck 26, $126. If Ethereum can get a nice little bounce, we need to see it bust above this zone with a vengeance. If we can break decisively above $126, and then it starts acting as support, so it starts bouncing along this zone here, I'm going to start to get short-term optimistic. But until then, guys, until we at least break above this $93 range here, guys, with some volume, Ethereum is looking very bearish, and I would kind of avoid it. In my opinion, I would avoid it unless you're looking at the long term, and then maybe slowly dollar cost averaging again would not be a bad idea. All right, guys, that wraps up Ethereum, and finally we're going to be looking at very, very quickly looking at Ripple. Ripple, obviously, guys, has taken a hit, a huge hit. It's been a long time since I've updated you on Ripple, guys, but these are the exact same support and resistance lines I had drawn out from over a month ago. We can see I told you guys if 43 cents did break down, it'd be a very quick drop, very likely down to at least 35 cents. Price came back down. 35 cents was acting as support for a little bit of time here, for a little over a week, and then that broke down, started acting as resistance. Of course, as soon as that happened, we knew that that was going to break down even further. 31 cents did end up breaking down, then it started acting as resistance again. 31 cents is continuing at this time to act as resistance, guys, and really we can see that it's bouncing back and through. Price came back down and bounced perfectly off our 27 cent support, came back up, unable to decisively break above our 31 cent resistance, and of course there it sits right now, just huddled right below that 31 cent resistance, guys. So what I'm watching, if you're a day trader, you can trade this zone here, trade buying at 27 cents, selling at 31 cents, shorting at 31 cents, targeting 27 cents. It's probably going to bounce back and forth between this range, but I'm going to be watching for a decisive break above 31 cents. So in other words, not a 4-hour. In this case, I'm watching the daily candle, guys. In this case, I want to see a daily candle open and close above 31 cents. If that does happen, I'm going to start to get short-term optimistic. And vice versa, if we do see a daily candle that opens and closes below 27 cents, things could get ugly very, very quickly. Uglier than they already are, guys, obviously. If 27 cents does break down, guys, there is a little bit of support that sits down here. Or excuse me, 29 cents. 29 cents, guys. Sorry, I've got this mislabeled here. 27 cents is down here. This is 29 cents. In fact, let me go ahead and label that. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Got the labels all worked out there. Apologize. So yes, we're bouncing between 29 cents and 31 cents, not 27. And so if we do break below 29 cents, we could very quickly, more than likely, we will very quickly drop down to that 27 cents. And we've got layers of support below 27 cents, 26, 25. There are some layers of support all the way down to 23 and 20 cents even. But if we break above 31 cents, that's going to be a sign of strength, a decisive break above 31 cents, guys. And I'll start to get interested in Ripple if we get a decisive break above 31 cents with some consolidation. You know, at that point, guys, I'm not going to buy a position, but I'll start to get very interested. Where I'll start to get very interested and we'll consider buying is if we do get a nice little bounce that takes us nicely above 35 cents with volume. Again, with volume. So in other words, that's going to tell me that's not just some kind of a bull trap. If we get volume behind it, guys, then I'll start to get interested in Ripple. As of right now, guys, I'm just kind of hands off with Ripple, other than very, very small scalp trades, bouncing between that 29 and 31 cent range, just very, 2-3% gains, sometimes even 1.5% gains. I'm fine with that, guys. Just small day trades. But for the majority of people that are not day traders, guys, I would just stay out of this market and wait for a trend change. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things there, guys. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, would appreciate an upvote if you have enjoyed this content. Until next time, guys, please trade safe. Take care of yourselves. This is Working, signing out.